Jacques Derrida was a French philosopher who is known for his contributions to the fields of deconstruction, literary criticism, and post-structuralism. Here are some of his famous quotes along with brief explanations. There is nothing outside of the text. This quote from Derrida's book of Grammatology suggests that all meaning is constructed through language, and there is no reality beyond the text. This idea is central to his theory of deconstruction, which emphasizes the idea that texts have multiple meanings that are contingent on the reader's interpretation. The gift of language is the gift of life itself. This quote suggests that language is essential to our existence and identity as human beings. Derrida believed that language not only communicates meaning, but also shapes our understanding of reality and our place in the world. There is no political power without language. Derrida believed that language and power are closely linked, and that those in power often use language to maintain their position. He believed that language can be used to challenge dominant power structures and create social change. Deconstruction is not a dismantling of the structure of a text, but a demonstration that it has already dismantled itself. This quote captures the essence of Derrida's theory of deconstruction, which emphasizes that meaning is unstable and constantly in flux. According to Derrida, all texts contain contradictions and inconsistencies that ultimately undermine their own coherence. Deconstruction is the process of revealing these contradictions and exposing the limitations of the text. The history of philosophy is the history of logocentrism. This quote from Derrida's book, Speech and Phenomena, suggests that Western philosophy has been dominated by the idea that language is a reliable source of meaning and truth. Derrida believed that this logocentric view of language has led to a privileging of speech over writing and a neglect of the complexities of language. To pretend, I actually do the thing, I have therefore only pretended to pretend. This quote from Derrida's essay, Signature Event Context, explores the idea that language is performative, meaning that words and phrases can create or enact certain realities. Derrida uses the example of a performer pretending to be a king to illustrate how language can both represent and create a reality. The future is necessarily uncertain, but that is not a reason to abandon ourselves to it. This quote from Derrida's book, Archive Fever, emphasizes the importance of taking action in the face of uncertainty. Derrida believed that we cannot predict the future, but we can still strive to create a better world through our actions in the present. We have inherited a fear of everything which is not ordered, not controlled, not subject to domination, to our purposes. This quote from Derrida's book, The Other Heading, explores the idea that human beings have a tendency to fear that which is unknown or unfamiliar. Derrida believed that this fear can lead to the marginalization or oppression of those who are different from us. The truth is always something that is told, not something that is known. This quote from Derrida's book, The Politics of Friendship, challenges the idea that there is a single, objective truth. Derrida believed that truth is always contextual and subject to interpretation, and that it is shaped by the language and culture in which it is expressed. The animal is not an object, but a subject, a fellow creature. This quote from Derrida's book, The Animal That Therefore I Am, challenges the traditional Western view of animals as inferior beings that exist solely for human use and consumption. Derrida argued that animals have their own subjectivity and agency, and that they are entitled to ethical consideration and respect. This quote reflects Derrida's interest in the relationship between humans and non-human animals, and his concern for the ways in which human beings have historically exploited and oppressed other species. Derrida's work on animal ethics has been influential in shaping the field of animal studies, which seeks to better understand and address the ethical implications of human-animal relationships. The more one attempts to clarify things, the more one obscures them. This quote from Derrida's book The Postcard highlights the paradoxical nature of language and communication. Derrida believed that language is inherently ambiguous and had attempts to clarify meaning often result in further confusion and complexity. The gift always arrives too late. This quote from Derrida's book, Given Time, explores the idea of gift-giving as a complex social and cultural practice. Derrida argues that the act of giving a gift is always fraught with ambiguity and tension, as the giver and receiver negotiate their relationship and expectations. The gift, in Derrida's view, is always late in the sense that it cannot fully satisfy the obligations and expectations that come with it.